Hi, I'm Josh Holswich, Head of Research here at Valkyrie, and welcome to our newest web series, Chain Chats, where we dive in with our Trust Protocol partners to learn more about their network and exciting latest developments. Today we are joined by the team at Zilliqa to explore their gaming business that harnesses the power of blockchain technology. To learn more about our Valkyrie Zilliqa Trust and gain direct and secure exposure to ZIL with additional yield earned through staking, please visit the link in the description of the video. So gentlemen, Valentine and Matt, thanks for joining me today. We'll just start with some intros, who you are, what do you do, that sort of thing. We'll start with
Hey, Josh.
Valentine or Matt. That doesn't matter to me.
Matt first.
Hey, Josh. Thanks
How's it
very
going?
much for I'm good, actually. Thanks very much for having us. I'm Matt Dyer. I am the CEO at Zilliqa. Been with the business a couple of years now. Who Zilliqa are, I think you asked. Well, good question. We have been around for a long time now, been going since 2017. We were one of the OGs first to market with sharding. For those who don't know what that is, very technical. Essentially, going to Starbucks, normally you used to line up to get your coffee. With sharding, everyone can queue up, ask for the same coffee at the same time, and get it delivered at once. So the benefit of that is, from a scaling perspective, if you're going to bring a lot of applications onto your network, it stops any sort of congestion. So we don't get customers being frustrated about said experience. So yeah, we've been going for a while. And from a perspective of kind of where the value comes from, we're low clock cost, we've got really high security and really high throughput. And as a business or as an organization, a layer one, we're all about kind of driving enterprise adoption and getting real world use cases onto blockchain that are sustainable. And I think part of the discussion today is going to be around types of businesses that are building on Zilliqa and driving value. And Valentine and I can talk a bit more about that. And potentially, while we may be not as well known as some of the other blockchains in America, maybe on the West Coast, East Coast, I think what Valkyrie saw in Zilliqa was really this kind of early stage kind of gem in terms of capability, technology, in terms of what we're doing, and is probably a reason why you offer the staking capability within the trust, which is going to be more important probably for the American market with all the legislation that's coming down the line in terms of not being able to kind of get access to staking. So I think from a kind of an understanding where Zilliqa as a layer one's going, it could be a good place to kind of look at in terms of understanding another layer one. So that's me.
Sure, yeah. I mean, the staking piece is critical. Yeah, even for my own crypto, I'm thinking like, what am I going to do as an individual? You know, it's becoming quite tenuous out there. Valentine, hello. How's it going?
Oh, happy
Give
to
us a
be
little
here.
intro.
Yes, let the drums roll, right?
Yes.
Myself, I've been doing software and software for hardware for about 23 years this summer. You name it, I did it. I also did games in the past 9 years and a half. A lot of stuff with the AAA studios, had my own gaming studio and went extremely well with a nice exit, and also covered some Web3 games inside the studio. And that was the moment that I actually understood what Web3 potential-wise can mean for a business like gaming. And with the background of the things I did in the AAA studio, which I shall not name, but it's definitely something that you guys are playing a lot, and I'm playing it yet for a long time. I learned that the idea to have all your things, all your assets that you gain in a game across blockchain and not in just an account and just see pixels and numbers there, it would make the difference. So then I joined Zilliqa 1 year ago. I started to present my crazy strategies and ideas that I was working on for some years with my own stuff. And lucky me, I found the right guys to work with. And for all the reasons that Matt said about Zilliqa as a blockchain, yes, it was a no-brainer for me to choose Zilliqa as the one to do gaming. And I started by leading a business unit inside the Zilliqa, the gaming business unit. And few months ago, we spun out to a company of its own, so we can do all the regular things to get investors, to protect the IP, to work more focused on gaming, because Zilliqa is not a gaming company, right? It's not a gaming studio, and us to act more in the new entity as a per se studio, gaming studio, but more, I could say, an entertainment company, because we have quite a lot of things to talk about on what we do.
Sure. I think one of the biggest things for people is when they hear the word NFTs, they have a preconceived notion or preconceived bias. For me,
Yes.
I like, for my own personal understanding, so there's trading cards, right? And then there's
Yep.
like trading card games like Pokemon, Magic, right? So for me, the distinction in my mind is I personally am gravitating towards things with utility, things that I can play with and touch and move around, right? Versus like art. To me, art is just kind of, me personally, whatever. I don't really care about profile pictures, right? I care about skins I can, like you said, cross-platform, things I can
Yep.
move around, things I can play with, things that I own, things I can touch, right? And like help. This sounds like mushy gushy, but like help show
Mm.
my identity, right? Like that's what I think a lot of people are gravitating towards in gaming and utility and NFTs and that sort of thing. So how is Zilliqa involved with gaming from that aspect?
You want me to take this one, Matt?
You take it, and I'll add anything that you might have
Right.
missed.
So I like the fact that you said it's all about the utility. Even us internally in the gaming team, we call them skins because that's what the NFTs actually represent. The skins for your weapons, the skins for your character. And we didn't stop there. I said, nah, that's too Web 2.0 thinking. I said, we're going to make more games. And one NFT that you make, sorry, skin that you have for one game, we're going to be used for multiple games. So the Web3 word that you see on our t-shirts, it's already out for a month almost. All the NFTs one can buy there. We're going to use them in the second game and the third game, wherever, let's say, a weapon, a character model that is humanoid, that we have that in already. This is a first-person shooter. You're going to be able to use those skins. So thinking a bit in contrast to what, I don't know, Call of Duty does, right? Call of Duty Modern Warfare, wow, nice. Everybody played it, a lot of spending, myself included. Then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 comes up, and I cannot use anything from my, and I'm like, that's not cool for me. Here we come with the solution that, okay, so the utility of the skin itself needs to be not only cross-platform, cross-chain that we are thinking to do in the near future, but now what we can control and what we can develop is cross-game. So first game is out. We have all the NFTs in the market because we also built built and running a gaming hub with all the marketplace that we are used from Steam or from Battle.net experiences. And what you buy there, you're going to be able to use them across all the games we build. So at least 2 or 3 games, each NFT are going to be able to be used. And that's the cool part. And as a spoiler, because you mentioned trading cards, we are building and we're going to do, and this is news that nobody knows about it. This is like prime time stuff.
Breaking news, guys.
Breaking news, breaking news.
Valentine, I've not heard this either. What are you up to?
So the perk system, you know, the perk system like you have in Battlefield, in Call of Duty, in many other shooter-like games, or even like abilities in RPG games, we are developing that. And for those, we're gonna make a trading card system. So I can have unlocked a ability to run faster in this game. I can sell it for you, no matter if you are playing that game or another game. But where the perk system is being implemented, because you can get the NFT from me, you'll be able to use it there. But even more, we can customize that. So when Josh is shooting Valentine and he kills Valentine in a game, Valentine can see what trading card perks he has. So I can say, okay, so he killed me because he was running a bit faster and he nailed down that corner and I failed to kill him. And then he come up and he shoots. So we are adding that, not only skins, not only banners, not only avatars, but also perk system. This is something extremely hard. It's under development for about a month. I think in about 2 weeks it will be out in the game. This is exactly hard
Yeah,
news.
and I think that's the thing, Josh. It's really, from my perspective, how do you transfer value? And I think with what NFTs and what Valentine's building with the skins and kind of other some components, so that is, in essence, is what this Web3 kind of moniker is all about. And I think gaming is one that is a $200 billion industry. It's an industry that probably has an opportunity to kind of be tapped into by this space. And I think people, once they start to get educated, I know this is an educated call, but once people understand this ability to transfer the value and extract the value when you as an individual choose to extract the value, I think that's a big game changer that people will maybe not get straight away, but in time, as other games come to market from not just Zilliqa, but from other blockchains and Rolling Thunders, we're going to start to see a big move towards this industry.
Well, the funny thing about that is people have been doing this for years with games. For example, popular MOBA League of Legends, right? I have a unique skin that was in the beta that is attached to my account, right? So in order to extract the value for myself, I would have to sell my account, which is against their terms of service, I believe. But it's something people do, right? And I see, you see lots of examples of this, of people selling basically their account in order to extract that value. Whereas in this case, using these type of skins or NFTs, they are individual assets that you can transfer, right? And that's the beauty of all this. Yep. And how does the Zilliqa blockchain interact with the skins? What is the special sauce for Zilliqa as far as keeping things secure or moving things around? We talked about it. It's a layer 1 blockchain, which just means that you can build stuff on top of it, right? But what makes Zilliqa like the special standout here?
I can answer this, Valentine, and you can jump in if I kind of missed the point in it. I think where we came at this was saying, how do we build something that people want to actually use? So if we're going to build the whole gaming experience on our blockchain in terms of where at the moment, you're probably not going to get that experience that you'd expect from a typical game. And the reality is in this industry is blockchain probably serves 0.9% of an experience, but it's an experience that delivers a really strong positive outcome. So from Zilliqa's standpoint, this is really about securing your digital assets, being able to kind of mint the assets and allow the people to have that control. But in terms of the full gameplay on chain, that isn't the kind of the mechanism or the approach that we've taken. I think as a blockchain, as we develop, I think we're going to be having this subnet component similar to what you see with Avalanche. They're doing a lot around subnets. We're going to have a similar sort of kind of paradigm in terms of what we do. But in essence, what we've tried to do is make this more a focus around utility, gameplay, usage, obviously backed up by kind of market leading blockchain, but that isn't the focus. And I think that for people listening in, it's really about, and this is from my perspective, how this industry is going to move forward. People need to see that blockchain only forms part of the story, not the kind of the entire story, if we're going to prove businesses that can extract value, is my take.
Right. It's not like we're running the game on blockchain, right? That would never work. No. That's not happening.
Not yet. It's because think about a multiplayer game, right? Things happen in milliseconds. We like to say nanoseconds, not real-time sphere, but you cannot have, I don't know, a multiplayer game that you shoot somebody and you need to record that event across blockchain and confirm it on the other side. That doesn't work. One could do, and we are researching these aspects like achievements to be on the blockchain. For the moment, we go with the easy part. We are still, to some extent, in a beyond after a program pilot. The game is out, but we are now researching what other technologies can be built around. Still, we are focusing on adding features for the gamers because we are focusing the gamers, and that's the main focal point we had from day one. But still, to do a step back, talking about the way we structure the business and what Matt was saying, my struggle developing games on the blockchain initially in my own studio was I didn't have the tools, I didn't have the SDK, the software development kits, and documentation how to build games on the blockchain. And sorry to say, Solana and Polygon, guys, you have a terrible documentation there. So what I did initially, day one, Matt can challenge this. I said, let's build an SDK. He said, yeah, go. How much, Matt, did you say? How many months?
I guess 6 months to build that part out, correct, yeah.
So we did it in one day. The next day, beta was open source, and you can check the open source GitHub that we had. SDK was out. So anybody in Unity engine could just build any kind of application, including games, on the blockchain. Why? Tools are very important. It's like a mechanic that goes to repair a car. You need the tools in your belt before you go under the car, because otherwise you need to annoy everybody around you. Give me that, give me that. So we built that. We built all the documentation, all the benchmarks. Then I said, let's build the platform. And to a very good point to anybody that says, hey, you guys are like Steam, like Valve and their platform Steam in the Web3 space. Then right we are. Because 19 years ago, the same way these guys went out, a hub, an SDK, and one game called Half-Life, and then 1 year later, Counter-Strike came up. That's the model because we know it works. Then they did Dota, then they did another game, but easily because they were focusing the developers to be able to build cool stuff and great stuff fast enough. We did the same. And we did it actually for us initially because we are doing the first games. We are going to open to other studios to be able to build, but now we are focusing in this way. Tools, quality, and content before anything else because I care about the end product. I'm also a gamer. So I need to like it. I need to see no lag. I need to see no hackers, no cheats. We also built an anti-cheat and anti-hack system. It's all over the place injected. I beg cheaters and hackers to hack us. I need to see it happening. It's a big prize if that happens. But
the interesting thing as well, Josh, just from a demographic, when you look where people are playing, we've got the likes of Brazil, who's obviously a big market in this space for gaming, getting a lot of users from there coming in and playing, and some of the other emerging markets. So it's quite an interesting to see. So let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my other questions is, do you guys have analytics on users or demographics, or I'm a big proponent of just looking at the blockchain and seeing like what's going on, right? Do you have any like favorite websites or places to view that information? I think you guys have a Zilliqa. I visited it before. I'm blanking on the name, but
if you look at ViewBlock, you can see,
yeah.
I guess, Zilliqa, I think Thorchain, there's quite a few others there that have got a kind of a ViewBlock on that. So from a skins perspective, that information will be available in terms of kind of what you owe. In terms of some of the data around gameplay, what people are doing, obviously that part is probably more centralized in terms of the business model that we're operating. But obviously from a skill to earn perspective, once the tokens become available, again, going to ViewBlock will give you the access to see what's happening in terms of the kind of on-chain activity and all the I guess the typical coin market cap and all those things will give you that information. So ViewBlock for NFTs we'll be able to see, and then later on from a token you'll be able to get that from View.
So you guys have the Web3 War. I've played it. It's fun. I've been playing it. Do you have anything else? What's the roadmap look like as far as the pipeline? Anything you can talk about?
oh yes, it's like 1 hour of discussion on that one, but I'll be brief. We are now finalizing another big thing, what everybody has said, and I'm listening to the community, I really do, and what the gamers are saying, but people need to understand that we are a very small team. We are 7 guys in the dev team. We are changing the UI. The user interface for the hub will going to be changed, will be more like Xbox, PlayStation looking like. Matt just saw this morning, I think, a preview.
Yeah,
it was like, wow.
Loving it, yeah.
And the game UI, we are running things around a AA game now, towards the AAA game. I know it's a small studio with a small number of accounts, but if we don't provide them back the right kind of UI and elements, like the perk system, like all the content that we are building, new weapons, new game modes, new maps, people are not going to look at us in the right way. And I do want gamers to be a mass of people, not only crypto enthusiasts, but degenerates, because I want the gamers because they appreciate, hey, when is the new map coming? What's RTX in respect to the AMD FSR? So they need to know the technologies that we are implementing, and we are covering everything. Short term, new UI all over, new game modes, the perk system. Season 1 we're going to come somewhere around end of the summer with a battle pass, the same way you are used to, and a lot of specialized dedicated content. And you know something? Around the fall of this year, second game we're going to go live in open beta. And your skins from the first game will be cross-game. You just go there.
What's the term for that? Looter, shooter, extract.
Loot, shoot, and extract. We invented this naming now. It's LS6, loot, shoot, and extract. Yes, others did it before, but they didn't have a proper name. They called it extraction shooter. I said, that's not nice. FPS and LS6. There you go.
I'm excited. Those are my types of games. One last thing I want to hit on is the EVM stuff that you guys announced that is coming next week, I think you said. What does EVM mean, and why is that important for Zilliqa?
EVM's massive for Zilliqa. I think, I guess we've been around for a long time, and when we first came out, it was all about, I guess, who was going to be the biggest, the best blockchain. Zilliqa had a thesis, had its own language that you could build on, very secure, which was all good. The challenge is, as everyone knows, Ethereum had first mover kind of acceptance. A lot of the developers develop in Solidity. If you're a developer, why would you spend time building or learning another language if immediately you can kind of fork or build out an application? So by Zilliqa going EVM, we've literally we had a moat. That moat now to the developers in the whole of the blockchain ecosystem now opens up to Zilliqa. And then when you start to think about applications, it's a lot easier now to fork an applications. If you think, I don't know, Venus Protocol is a great example. Zilliqa doesn't have much DeFi. We've already got a fork of that available, ready to go when we go live from an EVM perspective. And then that starts to become a building block into the DeFi space. Zilliqa, again, has never played in that market. And then once you start to offer the building blocks, people will start to build a lot more applications. You're going to start to see a lot more transactions. You're going to start to see a lot more TVL. You're going to get a lot more awareness of Zilliqa into places that we've not seen. So I guess aspirationally, you'd like to think that we'll be seen on Avi at some stage. We'd like kind of 1inch, all these places where some of the other layer ones who are EVM compatible, Zilliqa's just literally opened the door to that capability. So heading out to Consensus myself next week to kind of talk about some of the stuff we're doing in that space. But I think super bullish around what we're doing there. And then when you're thinking about things like what Valentine's building from a gaming perspective, the ability maybe to do cross game, in fact, we've got EVM, we become compatible with a lot more change. It opens up a kind of an ecosystem, or kind of allows us to have a bridge into a much, much bigger kind of transactional opportunity. So yeah, I think it's a big, big step change for Zilliqa, backed up by the fact that we have been around for a long time. We've got a lot of credibility in the space. We've probably not been the most shilly blockchain in the world and try to do things the right way. But I think that's going to stand us in good stead, especially as we're seeing in the market at the moment, regulators are getting a lot tougher in terms of what people do.
One thing I'll add, EVM, for those unaware, is the Ethereum virtual machine. So it does it, their thesis at Zilliqa, it sounds like, with these NFTs is the same for the thesis on adding EVM, right? We're giving cross-compatibility, intra-compatibility, right? We're breaking down silos, we're making things less involved, less friction, that sort of thing.
And I think that's the thing. When you look at the different bridges, we've got some bridges to Binance, to Polygon, I think, and Arbitrum as well, just kind of launched the other day. We're doing some work. This is hot off the press. We'll do some stuff with the bridge later down the line. So again, another cross-chain play for us. So while we sometimes get said, oh, you're just focusing on gaming or entertainment, or you're doing stuff with esports and everything else, obviously critically as part of this is an asset play and getting access to different blockchains to drive transactions across chain. Zilliqa is now open for business. So yeah, pretty bullish on that.
Excellent. And I think we'll leave it there for this one. Gentlemen, thank you both. I learned a lot, and I look forward to the call back in the next quarter.
Look forward to it. Cheers,
Looking
Josh.
forward.